Okay, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me correctly and hear the instrument, of course. So we can start. If you're new to this, as always, welcome. This is Friday's instance for me to give you live lessons in which we cover many questions. I try to answer as many as I can. So that's it. That's the deal. So I'll remind you some things, of course. Remember to follow always on Facebook, Twitter. Consider becoming a patron if you want to. People are making me the opportunity to do all of this. Not even the live lessons, but also the covers, the music, everything. So thanks so much for that. I'll remind you, you have some donation options on the description, so you can get a more featured question, like it was last week when someone actually gave a little donation and I explained myself a little bit more than usual. So, but you can ask me with no charge, of course. It's just a thing if you want to. So welcome everyone coming. Welcome to Cole, Greg, Marlo Coronado, Temin Garfias, Mr. Nathan, Casper Rasmussen, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. This is a chill out thing, really. I'm just chilling out, answering some questions. I'll give you some of the usual questions that people give me, and the bass, the name of the bass is a Washburn Taurus T24. Of course, I'm not from America. I'm from Chile. It's a country, South American country. Many other things that I usually don't remember, but a lot of questions are repeated along all of this. So yeah, we're gonna wait for some questions to start. It's been a more relaxed week for me, I think. I uploaded, I think, one song from Pearl Jam, Oceans. It's a great song. I didn't have the opportunity to play it on a fretless, so I did my best to create a similar sound with what I just have. I think that's one of the main interesting points of the channel, is trying to give you some learning also into how to make maybe not an actually really professional, expensive instrument into sounding, I guess, not that bad. I like that, of course, but most reasons that I don't have another instrument is just that I can't afford it now, really, actually. So maybe with some time I will be able to get more and more nice equipment. But the idea is just for the same. It's just to give some lessons about the things you already know. I think I could do that with whatever instrument. So that's it. When are you doing a giveaway? when I have some things to give. Actually, I don't have many things to give, but I don't know. Maybe when I have I think if I ever have the opportunity to have too much things, I won't feel good about it. Just having things that I'm not using, I don't like that. I like having things that I really use and I really take advantage of. So maybe if I'm just receiving too many things in some day, I will surely give out many things, because I don't want to have that high collection of things that I don't use. Okay, I want to give a use to anything. But yes, what do you do for warm up? That's a really interesting and I think a nice thing to start with. So we're gonna talk a little bit about warming up, okay? A little bit about warming up. So for years, really, the main thing I've been using is just going around the fretboard with my whole hand and my four fingers also. I became accustomed to this from guitar, of course, and from doing this. And going around, going up and down, and then finishing about over here and maybe going back. Always going back is a little bit trickier, you know, but the most important thing I think into warming up is just doing exercise like you do when you're going to stretch and when you're going to run. Okay, it's kind of like the same thing. You just need to find a good exercise for you to not get too much tiring exercises, but moving around a lot with both of your hands, so you get more and more less cold joints, that they are not that good for playing, you know, well. I think when I'm getting into playing, I think after an hour or two maybe of just playing, I think I have the full flexibility I want from my hands, actually. Okay, so I warm up a lot before playing gigs, of course. I warm up a lot, and before playing whatever song, I usually warm up just a little bit. But you notice when you're not warming up enough, because you get into your songs and you start getting too cramped when you're going around whatever thing you're doing. So it's better, always better, and it's important for your health actually to warm up a lot. So I was just going around with this. This is just what I do. Maybe over the 5th fret, so I don't go in this place of the bass. You know, it's not a good place maybe for starting. You have to make more effort into it. But maybe from the 5th fret and just going around, trying to work with every finger. And of course, even if you're warming up, you need to correct your positions. Okay, that's important also. Relax positions, you know. Remember the grip, the famous, I don't know how to call it, sandwich or deck of cards grip. Always applied, less movement in your fingers, not much lifting, and everything of this just applied slowly. And after you go, starting to go more and more fast, of course. Okay, I was just doing this for a long time. Then I just made some variations, I think, about it. I tend to think about these exercises with the numbers of my fingers, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, So maybe I sometimes I do variations of that combination. Maybe I do 1 3 2 4, you know. That's a good exercise actually to involve more than just playing like this, and also selecting different types of frets, more like a reality, of course, because you're not going to do much of this in reality. So maybe I go like this: 1 2 3 1 3 2 4, or maybe I do 1 4 3 2. You can play around a lot with that, maybe keeping string, but after that it's not even that coherent with what you're going to do. So I practice also a lot of octaves, usually doing something like this, playing around with a C major scale, but with octaves. I'm usually doing something like this. Or maybe even messing around with that. You know, or maybe just doing a nice groove and trying to just play around, you know. But most of the time it's just trying to stretch. You will notice you will begin, if you're, of course, if you're in the context of your playing, you're in a cold climate, you will get a lot of cold fingers, and that is not good. You shouldn't never play with really cold fingers. So that's something you need to take care of. Even you can do some exercises without the instrument, you know, trying to lift your hands like this. I don't know, many things you can do, especially if you're going to slap a lot. You can practice doing this. Don't know, but I don't want to give an exact exercise, but because you need to know just the goal from this, and the goal is to have a nice stretch with all of your fingers. Okay, I think that's the most important thing, and you will notice when you're in the zone, like maybe you can call it, you're in the zone because you know you're at your maximum performance when you have been playing a lot. Okay, so that's really important. That's it about the warming up, I think, in a more broad aspect, of course. Let's move on. Gabriel, I don't know, Sanborn, do you change strings really often? So, about changing strings, yeah, why not? Listen, I usually change strings. For most of the time, I change strings when I could afford a new pack of strings. Actually, they are not that cheap, especially here in maybe in my country. It's not that you can buy one pack a week, you know. So most of the time, I was just changing it monthly. So I do this after I don't know how many years, but I've been changing monthly, and I've been setting up that change. So in the first days that I have my new strings changed, I usually play the things that require a more bright sound. Okay, usually when I'm going to play Tool covers that I have in the channel, I need a fresh pack of strings. ideally, of course. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea, new pack of strings. I think every gig actually he plays. You will notice because you have that really bright metallic sound. It's almost like playing piano strings, you know, in the same. The actually piano strings and bass strings have, and of course guitar strings have the same type of a build into it. So when they are brand new and you smack them or maybe just pluck, you will notice, okay, these strings are, for me, are kind of like already dead. You'll notice. You don't get that much high end. High end meaning the high frequencies that that a string could give out to you. It's not enough because they are just maybe a little bit dirty. The natural oils and you know, skin cells of your fingers will get in between here, and they will not get a new forever, of course. So I change them about monthly, I guess. I use round wound most of the time, and I'm testing strings all the time. I'm never buying the same pack. Actually, I don't like that. I think I have Ernie balls that I'm going to try and see. It's better that I think it's better not to stick with one thing if you want to test more and more different aspects. You know, choosing your favorite implies that you need to pick a lot of things first. But yeah, some tips actually for renewing your strings. You know, maybe some of you already know it, but you can actually boil your strings. You know, you just get them out and into maybe a pot with some water, boiling water, a little, I don't know, about half an hour, and you will get a little bit of the brightness back. Actually, I've been doing this. I think I did it for in two occasions, I think. Also, some people like to tune down a lot of the tension of the strings, of course, tuning down the string and then just slapping it really hard. Sorry for that. Really hard, and that will give you even a little bit more brightness to get, in case you need it for the time. It won't last that much, of course, and it will never be the same as a new pack of strings. But yeah, it's cool to identify which groups or which players actually play with old strings or play with new strings. You can actually notice that, but there are also some tricks to renew, in a way, a bass. You can lift a little bit of the high end frequencies. You know, you can maybe give some equalization into it, but of course, again, never will be the same. So that's it with changing. Okay, they are expensive actually. It's not like compared to guitar, it's kind of like 4 times the price, maybe 3 times. I don't know. And gauge, I'm using most of the time 45s. It's kind of like a standard, I guess. I actually bought Ernie bowls and I bought 40s. A little bit less less thickness will give you a more fast execution, probably. It's a usual thing that the most virtuoso bass players do. It's playing with, I think, a little bit less thick, less gauge strings. And if you're going to downtune a lot, you need thicker strings, of course. And if you want a more mellow, big sound, of course, you need thicker strings. Okay. So that's, you need to just experiment. Okay. So Ricky, hello. I keep getting sore fingers when I play the bass. I let it rest for a few days and it still hurts. Any ideas on what can I do? Okay, getting sore fingers. That may explain many things, of course. There is pain that is actually good, and it's inevitable when you're playing. Okay. It's like when you're going to do some bar chords for the first time, and you will experience some pain actually, or maybe some cramps, maybe something like that. But there's pain that it's unacceptable. Okay, if you're having pain while trying to execute, trying to lift your fingers, creating positions, and if it is really an acute pain, pain like from your joints specifically, that means maybe you have not corrected all of your positions, okay, all of your hand positions, and that is always important to take over. Okay, there is actually a position in which you can play fast and relaxed, of course, but that when you're a beginner is difficult to maintain. So most important thing, let your body do the work. Actually, your body will not be happy if the body feels pain. So you need to check, okay, here I'm better, here I'm doing it better, here it looks like it's less straining for me. Okay, but always stop playing when you're feeling some pain in whatever aspect. Okay. Have you had technical difficulties live? Okay, let me think about it. Maybe we can talk about that. Maybe I can give you a little bit of a talk about the things you need to take care of when you're playing live, okay? But because I've seen many people not understanding how to confront live situations, especially dealing with your sound guys, dealing with your equipment, and taking care of your equipment, of course, okay? I gotta say, when I go into whatever gig, I have with me, of course, the bass strap, 2 cables, most of the case, in case one fails, a lot of picks, a lot of usually a tuner, and I actually most of the time I'm not using it. I know it's irresponsible, but I'm most of the time not using a tuner. I just go around with the sound of the guitar and tune around with that. It's not the ideal, but I trust a little bit more in my ears, so I do that. But yeah, you get into the scenario wherever you first of all checking the amp. Of course, you need to know beforehand what you're going to plug into if you're not if you're not with your own amp. Checking out the cable, always going around with the cable on top of the strap, so it doesn't just fall out if you're it's something that actually has happened to me. It's when I'm playing and then just the plug just falls out because I'm tensing it too much. So after that, I just always, all the time, the cord goes over the strap, so it creates a little bit of more tension, and it doesn't with whatever tension it will not get out. Same thing into the amp, always giving it around a little bit so the tension doesn't go just into the plug. Of course, checking the energy if you're having some pedals or some pedal board. And dealing with your sound. This is really important, I think, if you're ever going to play live. Dealing with the sound guy, and if you're having a, floor speakers from return into you from the sound, from the the band sound, you need to be really specific with what you want. Okay, I need more bass so I can hear myself. I need a little bit more of drums. I need more guitar. I need to hear the voice. I need to all of that. You need to actually take care. Okay, it's important to take care of that and be comfortable while you're playing. I've seen many people that don't understand when they're saying, okay, you need more of that, or I need more volume of that. It's just giving some sound into the monitoring system, okay, so you can hear more of more of the band, and being comfortable with that. Actually, if you have too much volume of the bass, you will always try to play softer, and that can be good. Okay, you need to have a middle nice position so you can actually have dynamics applied into your live gig. Of course, I prefer to always give it a little bit less gain, less whatever, so I can actually push it with my execution. Okay, if I want to go more, I go more with my instrument. But mostly technical difficulties. I've never had that many things that I couldn't solve. I never popped a string. Actually, it's a little bit more difficult with a bass to have a, if you're using good strings, of course. One time actually the cable just went to shit really, and it just failed. It was too tense. It was too bent. That's a good thing to do, actually. Just straighten out your cord and leave it in a good place, so when you're moving around it doesn't break, actually, when you're stretching it too much. But yeah, nothing that you can't solve in the meantime. And that's it. I don't know. I've been wanting to start making bass guitar videos. Rapid Sixth asks, and I thought an acoustic bass would be perfect due to the preamp. Any thoughts? But I didn't have the opportunity to play or have an acoustic bass, but I know they are a really interesting thing to consider. I don't know if they are actually cheaper than an electric bass, but it's a good option for acoustic environments, special for that type of things, to go out and having actually your instrument, your bass, sounding without anything. And if you can have it electroacoustic, it's also better, so you can plug it in. Maybe it can already sound like a normal electric bass. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not that good at saying bad words, but it's not because I'm a purist or whatever. It's just it doesn't come natural. It's difficult to say just some swear words. Sorry for my stupid swear words. Okay. Felipe Guzman has a really interesting thing maybe we can talk about. Okay, I'm not playing a lot. Sorry for that bit, because I'm just going with the questions you're giving me. Okay, remember you can also ask me, and this is important. You can actually ask me, can you go over that little part on that song that you covered. Can you go over that slowly? Or can you go over and explain me more about that? That's especially the thing, because that's the thing why I did this, actually, for that purpose. Okay, of course I'm answering other questions, but I think the most important thing would be that, just having a lot of doubts, and maybe clarifying a lot of that. So if you have some ideas about that, you can let me know. So the question says, can you talk about keys and how to identify what key a song is in? Okay. I would love to write more, but I don't have a board or whatever, so we can write more easily. But we're going to talk a little bit about keys, just a little bit, okay? So to identify the key, first of all, I think I always say it, but developing your hearing and your ear, it's always really good. And you have a lot of types of hearing or ear that you can develop. Okay, you can have a harmonic ear developed, and for that you can notice, okay, maybe this sounds like a 5 chord, a 5 dominant. Maybe going into the 1, maybe you can actually notice if a chord is minor or major. That's something you can actually develop a lot, and it's really interesting and really important to go around with it. Okay, the ideal thing is, when you're going into the context of a band, they don't even need to tell you what key you are. Okay, you should always understand, okay, maybe I'm in this key because I'm giving all this knowledge into process. Okay, but when you're on paper, it's not that difficult. Okay, keys are just a way to set up scales and harmony around different tonalities, different notes. Okay, so that is always explained into the beginning of the score, or beginning of the tablet, or whatever, in which you will be presented with the alterations that will be present throughout all the piece. Okay, so if you see a score and you have before even the tempo marks, you have an F sharp marked into the score, that means you are in G. Okay, ways to notice that easily and quick, there's actually some tips, something like that, but the most important thing is knowing the circle of fifths. Okay, so Google that, Google circle of fifths, and you will notice there's everything you need to know about tonalities or keys. You have C major. C major has no alterations. Of course, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, and from that major, you have anything turn around that. Okay, the circle of fifths, the thing that it actually does, it's being able to pick this scale and just playing it over here, sorry, or whatever other place. Okay, so knowing about keys when you're a guitarist or bassist, it's really interesting, because in process it's easy for us. You just need to take this and move it around, and you're not thinking about the alterations that go through switching from C major to D major. D major actually has an F and a C sharps, and that difference, it's just transporting the same tone and semitone ordination of the major scale into beginning with D, beginning with another pitch, actually. Okay, that's just the thing that you need to know in essence. Okay, so when a keys has sharps, it goes clockwise into the circle of fifths, and it just goes around from C into G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, and so on and so on. And from the backwards or counterclockwise, you have flats going into it. So with one flat, and that is a B flat, you have F, and going around it, and it just encounters in the same place. Okay. Well, if you saw the image, you maybe get a little bit of the idea of that. So the purpose of all of this is just being able to play things in different keys for commodity of singers, for commodity of the instrument, for commodity of many things. Because around history, even before the Baroque period, around keys, when you executed them, they sounded all different in intervals. Okay, now you can just add a capo right here, and it just switch the key, and it doesn't change. Actually, we don't notice a change in attitude from the song just by switching a key. Maybe that's a bad thing, because you don't have that much personality into what key. Okay, it's pure bullshit actually when people say, "Oh, I think A major has some brightness that you can notice, different from E major," and whatever new age stupid bastardization of the knowledge. Okay, it's not like that. It's just switching your major key into another higher or lower pitch. Okay, it's just that. In the new modern system, it's just that. Okay, so keys are mainly for that, and of course you need to know all the keys. Really important. Okay, so check out the circle of fifths, and check out how many sharps or flats you're adding, and how does it come to know. Okay, I actually had a technique that I still use it actually. The last sharp, a semitone up, will always give you the key. Okay, so if you have a F sharp and C sharp in your score, you take the last sharp and go up, and it's D. It's always D major. Okay, how to notice that without knowing the written part? It's always important to know the cadences, knowing in which place the sound rests, the harmony rests. Okay, it's very usual in the popular world that you finish with the final tonic, the one chord, the key that gives you, the chord that gives you the key, the name of the key. Okay, so maybe you will hear something like this. I don't know. And it finishes over there, and you already know. Okay, it may be in C. Okay, the last chord will give you some idea of, but not in all the cases. The first and last chord or last note will give you usually the idea of knowing in what key we are. Okay, so that's important. Again, really important to develop your harmonic ear, even more important than melodic ear, I think. Yeah, and for that we all should know a little bit of chords in guitar or maybe in piano, and understanding. Okay, this is a chord that has a type of function in a key. Okay, that is important. Again, when you have C major, from C major you get chords. The first chord is the 1 chord, C major. Then you get D minor, being the second or the 2, the second grade. Okay, and the second grade is always minor. Again, it's and so on and so on. Okay, from the third grade you have E minor, always minor. The third grade, the fourth and the fifth grades are always major. Okay, so you have F major and G major in the context of C. Then you go into the sixth, and the sixth is the usual relative minor from the C major chord. Okay, always related into it. And the B is always a diminished chord, and it's not really, it's a lot, it has a lot of tension. Okay, you can play like something like this, and it always turns out into C major. Okay, so there's places of more or less tension. The fifth always has a lot of tension from going into back into C major. So there you have different names into it. Okay, the mediant, the subdominant, the dominant, the relative minor, or I don't know. There's different names, but the deal is the same. It's just understanding how it all relates into the key. Okay, maybe sometime I will go, I think, deeper into this. Okay, I need to write a lot if I want to explain this well, I think. So sorry for the theory, I guess. Sí, obviamente hablo español, sí, se nota. Soy del país llamado Chile. Pero que creo que mal no lo hago, al menos. Okay. What got you into playing bass? Ask Don Palanqueto. It's a story that I think I've repeated a lot of times, but it all involves. I was a guitar player, and then bass came into me for a requirement for my band, actually my actual band. Now that we just released a new song, actually, if you want to go check it out, the band is called Ibanez. That's how you pronounce it in Spanish, but it's Inheres. You can find it, of course, on YouTube. And yeah, I came to bass because they needed a bassist. Never played one. I actually played a lot of time with a stolen bass, and that it was really crap. And then I had the opportunity to save some money to buy this one, and here we are. Okay, I noticed I didn't have the quality of my playing compared to guitar, so I wanted to do something to motivate me to play better, and also to create some type of idea for myself. That was the idea of this channel, especially when I noticed that a lot of tabs that I encountered, they were so bad, man, and you can notice they are not that good, and they are wrong in positions, and they make you do some stupid positions, not economic positions, and you end up not wanting to play because you don't have enough opportunities to get the real deal, to know, okay, this is how I am really playing, and this thing. Okay, so I came to be, okay, maybe if I don't find good tabs, I'm going to make my own. And then it came all of this, and but you gotta know, the first thing I did for this channel, the first videos, were just with the purpose of me of getting better. Okay, and because recording yourself involves a lot of practice, a lot of conscious playing, a lot of rigorosity, I guess, to get the thing like it is, you know. I think it helped in the context of the band. I think I can manage to actually play around with my band easily. Now it just all came into getting more and more technique, so I can play more. And now it came with a Patreon came, and things got of course a lot better. So I gotta thank again. I always thank because I think I need to. Okay, that's the full story, I think. Why I kept playing bass is just because I really like it. I like the functionality that it has in a band. I like the I don't find that the easiness that the instrument has at the beginning, it's a motivational thing more than a thing for people to say, oh, it's too easy compared to guitar or whatever stupid thing. Okay, you can get really complex with bass and understanding whatever, but the thing that it's not that difficult to play at the beginning, it's really, really interesting. Okay, it's a really broad, it has a really long range of difficulty, so it's accessible for you to just play around and enjoy it. And maybe if you want to get more into it, you can do it. Okay. Gabriel Sanborn and Sammy G supports the question about favorite bands or what bands influenced you. I think I'm going to go for influence because I don't have favorites. Okay, I always say it, but in the beginning you get a lot of attention into bass from Flea. Okay, it's impossible not to have that influence, especially for me that I really liked Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I remember listening to them and saying, okay, what's that instrument? I didn't even knew what bass was. I think many of you can relate to that because I just thought that it was another guitar, and then I discovered, okay, this is a bass. This has many other things that you can listen to, especially when you get good speakers or good headphones. You can begin to understand the functionality of the instrument. Of course, Flea. Then I listened to a lot of Stone Temple Pilots. I think the role from Robert DeLeo, it's a good role for a rock band. And after that, the channel came, and with the channel came appreciation for every bassist that I was just covering. And that, I think, influenced me a lot more, because each of the bassists that I've been covering really influenced my style of playing, of course. It's kind of like a really big Frankenstein of influence, and that is good, I think. Not having just one or two idols, trying to go over a lot of people so you can get more and more. I gotta say, I usually, in my sound, I tend to pick not just from bassist. I go from guitarist and maybe read patterns from drummers. I don't know. It's all music that should influence your playing. But I value the work of many other types of players. I'm thinking about others. I don't know. There's so many. I of course liked to play Primus for a long time, and the channel actually gave me that opportunity to know more of Primus, and I value a lot of things from them. and I think I like a lot of the approaches of Japanese music in bass. I think there's a lot of good things. I remember having to cover a song recently, and it had some things that I thought I could have done that. You know, maybe I could have composed something like that because I like that style of going around. Um, I wouldn't know what my signatures are. You know, trying to develop them, but you should, all of you, try to get your sound. Okay, the things that you like, applied to whatever. Okay, and I talked about this a lot, but okay, knowing a lot of leaks and knowing a lot of things from other guys, it's good, but you always need to apply it into what you like. Okay, what should be your sound. You can't just be a mash of a lot of the greatest bass players and trying to do something with that. Okay, that's just soulless for me. You need to get some other inspiration and from you, from what you hear, from what you like. Okay. Thoughts on 5 and 6 string basses. I've talked a lot about that. I like them. I don't have the opportunity to have one. I would love to, and in context, it would be great for some experience. Okay. I wouldn't recommend to have a 5 or 6 string to start. I think the essence of the classic bass, electric Fender, whatever, 4 string bass, will give you more of the background you need to begin. Okay, maybe with too much of a with too much to do, you will get more limitations. I like the idea of having less to play around with. I like the idea of having to think, how do I make a chord that has a lot of different tensions, and you have only 4 strings, or you have a different movement to cover different parts of the register, or even adding some digital or some effects into it to make it sound different or whatever. Okay. What's a good idea to motivate myself to play every day? Says Mr. Cushionist. I don't know. I gotta say, I always lost motivation when I was younger. I never picked the instrument every day because I was just bored. And you are like that when you're young. Okay, you want to just go around with everything without that many compromise, I think. But a good way to motivate yourself, actually, and for me, when I was younger, actually was knowing the recognition maybe I actually would have if I knew how to play some things. And I have nothing against that. Most of people, I think, in their psychology, begin with an instrument or music just to make a different expression of themselves and being noticed for that. I think that is something that comes in mind for many people. But you need to get over that after a while. You need to do it for yourself. That's important. And by doing it for yourself, you understand, okay, I want to do this, and I can't stop if I want to. But you shouldn't find a motivation. You should just do it. Okay. Pick it around 5 minutes and just play what you want. Mostly, okay. I talk a lot about theory. I talk a lot about warming up, but it's just some advices. Okay. First, play around with what you want and use that to get better. Okay. I as a teacher, I like that idea. Okay, you need to make people understand different things about music and the instrument they're playing, but in the context of what they want to play. Okay, I can say many interesting things about I don't know, a simple Nirvana song, and to understand, okay, what key we are, what chords are we playing, why the bass is doing that, why do you need to do something like this or maybe some other thing. That's just the theory, but maybe practicing it like it is, and understanding, okay, that's the context, the real context. That is better, I think. Okay, try to enjoy most of the time. And if you want to get serious, I gotta say, you sometimes don't have to enjoy, actually. Okay, if you really want to get professional and serious about this, you need to suffer also. So, and there's nothing bad about that. So that's it. Mr. Nathan always asking me about next songs on the channel. I got a lot of songs that I have to play. I have some. I don't remember the names, I gotta be honest. But I have some 70s, probably 70s rock, something that I don't remember really. But it's a really nice blues thing in A minor, I think. I have a Fuel by Metallica, actually. I have to play that. I have to play. I have some Rage Against the Machine, actually. I have this. I have that coming around. I have some Vulfpeck. I'm trying to prepare. This nice thing that you maybe you should recognize, really, because it's a really good bassist. You can see I don't remember by heart what I'm playing. I'm usually reading, so that's a thing for you to understand. How can I play that many songs? Probably I don't remember all of them. Probably I don't remember none of them. I don't know if I said that good. What else do I have? I think I have another song that I don't remember, but I have a lot of songs that should come. Great videos. Thanks a lot. Thanks a ton. You've taught me a few songs we play in my band, and I probably owe you some money. No worries, man. I think education should be free, really. But I'm broke, so all I got is a big thanks. Yeah, I'm not. I think I will never beg for money. I'm just always saying you to consider, if you want, a song for you to be played. You can donate in that case, okay, to get a song that will be for you. You just committed to you, and that it's great if you want to have something that is not on the channel. But if it is on the channel, you can just do whatever you want with it, actually. Okay, I don't get paid for the video, actually, so you can, I don't know, download it if you want it. Download the tablature. Tablatures will always be free. The videos will always be free. Okay, and as long as I can, it would be like that. It should be like that. Okay, because that's the idea of the channel itself. Getting free, good education for playing some things. but by fortune I have Patreon, and I have many people interested in having their own favorite songs covered. So I have a lot of things to do in that aspect. Okay. Deantown, yeah, I think I'm going to eventually cover. Maybe people are going to go into me to tell me to cover a lot of Vulfpeck, because it's a really great bassist. Of course, they are all really technical, and it's noticed that they are coming from a really well versed background. And it's the revival of Motown, really, and the revival of the good musicians that came from the 70s era, you know, the golden 70s era, I think, for good musicians, because you really needed a good musician if you wanted to save money, if you wanted to record in one take, and you needed the best. Now you can re-record some things. You can create a bassist even if you don't have one, you know. And that's something that some people may think it's bad, but I think it's just evolution. In a way or another, you will always need talent. Okay. For composition, I think the best is just getting a good final product. But for yourself, being a good player is always the best. Seroji or Seroji, I don't know, wanted to thank you for the great content. Just started playing just last week. I'd like to build solid foundation. Any tips would be appreciated. I don't have a music background or play other instruments. Yeah. Well, you will notice what you will need when you get your instrument. Okay. The first and most important thing I always say to really the first timers is just pick your instrument daily. Okay. Just a while, but daily, and set yourself a lot of goals. Set yourself easy goals and then more complex goals. Okay, but always going around them. And I recommend you, of course, to watch the videos and have a lot of conscience of what you're doing. Okay, playing them at half speed, trying to go around it really easy. Okay, I think most of the alternative rock covers that I have, they're the most accessible. Okay, you have some Foo Fighters, you have some Nirvana, I guess. I wouldn't say Rage Against the Machine is easy, but something maybe some System of a Down. It's a little bit fast, I think, but mostly what you want to play. Okay, you tell what you want to play, and you will find it. Okay. And position. Okay, hand position will be always important. I have a lot of this. I have been doing a lot of streams, and in every stream I always take the tension into, you know, making beginners understand that the position that you acquire at the beginning will be your position that it will be really difficult to get rid of after a while. So it's important to sit well, to have a good position, relaxed. You know, the sandwich thing, the thumb never here, and not lift too much, right here in the right hand. Floating thumb, always trying to go covering all the strings while you play. Okay, and the basic things maybe we can go over. I did go over in many streams. Okay, I wouldn't say watch every stream, but maybe go around it while you play, you know. Is Mudvayne the most difficult to cover? For sure not. Okay, there's many other difficult things to do besides rock, metal, and many other things. Okay, if you listen to a lot of jazz and fusion, and I think fusion itself, it has the most technical and the best musicians you can create, because you need the background from jazz, the classical thing, and you need to know about all those other things to create the fusion type of music. You have technicality, you have theoric knowledge applied into your instrument. I would say from that realm you have the most important creators of music in instrument. But from other parts you have many islands, I don't know, on which you have really good players. Okay, so it's important to know always, it's not the fastest thing the better, it's not the most difficult the better. Okay, it's not even the most well executed the better. Okay, it's other things that you need to take in consideration. Okay, to say to create a quality. Okay. Are you Chileno? Yes, I am Chileno. Bulls on Parade? No. It's Take the Power Back. I'm going to play that. I think I have it mostly done. I just need to restring and have a good sound. Okay. So that's it. I haven't been playing a lot. I'm going to play a little bit, I guess. I want to play whatever, and then maybe a new question will pop out. I don't know. Do you gig with your band or just record? Yeah, we gig a little bit. It's not that much, but I have some experience in many aspects of playing. You know, with the guys, with the band, we played around with our original stuff for a while, and we played, and most of the time there was no one to watch us actually. And then we started with some of the covers that you have in the channel, and we've been playing in some convention types types of anime conventions or something like that. And by myself, I never played live actually, but in those contexts, we also had a Guns N' Roses tribute, I think. You know. I don't remember, but I used to know all those songs also. But yeah, you learn a lot. You learn a lot when you play live. Okay, about the technical things that I was talking, and about many other things. Really, to getting into touch with real people, it's always interesting. Where did you learn music theory? I feel like I just can't learn it through the internet. Oh, you can. I think you can. But I went to college. You could say I have a music bachelor's. Maybe you could call it like that. I studied about 4 years in a more classical background. Really, I wasn't studying bass or popular music. So I have some background from that, but it helped, of course. But it's just the same type of knowledge you could get. Actually, you could get in the internet. I'm an optimist in that way. I think many of my doubts I clarified when I was searching, and you can find many books. And now you can find a lot of things. I think most of the knowledge and any music you can get to the same goal. Even not knowing anything about theory, you can get to the same goal. But if you're interested into, you can get into it, and it's really beautiful to know some things. So yeah, I would recommend you just to search, just have the motivation to search and to clarify always your own doubts. You need to clarify yourself, okay? There's a not really good thing that people do, and it's just asking first and then trying to search the answer for yourself. Okay, you first need to go over whatever means that it's possible to answer your questions, and then go over to people and ask and get their ideas. Of course, with the internet, you can do both at the same time. I recently got a blood blister on my right hand, middle finger. Do you ever get this, and what do you do if and when you get them? Okay, I'm going to mark this because it might help some other people. But I think last time I talked a little bit about blisters, and of course I've got them. I've got some ugly looking blisters when I'm playing, especially when I'm playing a lot of, especially with Mr. Flea, playing that with that intensity will give you a lot of damage into your tip of your fingers. So what I do, and what I began to do after a while, was just not to pop them out. Actually, I was just draining my blisters. I would just sanitize a little needle, and then just pinching it, draining the whatever thing that you have, a liquid or whatever nasty thing, and then trying not to touch it for a while, so that dead skin will actually become calluses that you will get. And after a while of doing that, I think you develop kind of like a thicker skin. Okay, I have a thicker skin in my tip of my fingers, and it doesn't go out with anything now. Okay, so that's, I think, good. That's good because you have the opportunity to play more sharply with the tip of your fingers, you know. It would probably won't sound the same if you have tender, soft fingers, you know. So yeah, try to do that. Try to drain it, and if it's too ugly, it will probably just go away. But the most important thing is don't play for a while until it got healed, you know. But yeah, you can share your opinions on that. It's just my opinion, okay? That's it. Yeah, about the starting points on getting theory from the internet. And that is difficult, okay? I remember downloading a lot of books related to basic theory that I read, actually. So you can find maybe some PDFs that you can download related to many books on theory, and applying that always into music, into listening a lot of music. Okay, I'm really planning on just do a theory only stream that I would love to create, so we can develop many things. Okay, with a pen and paper, really trying to go over some things that you need to know, because there are some things that take a little bit of practice to understand. Okay, but many of them are just easily related to experience and to practice. Okay, to physical practice. You can create and develop all of that in your own instrument. And there's things that the classical world will not give you to understand around the popular world. Okay, it's easier for the popular music to be understood, really, but some things are not that easy to understand. Especially if you're going into jazz. Okay, I'm not not good at jazz theory, actually. I'm just applying some popular theory, popular harmony, maybe some classical background thing that I have, but into jazz and into substitutions of harmony, and into knowing what scale to use in what chord, and the 251 and many other things. I don't think I have the knowledge. But you shouldn't get scared with that, okay? It's all things that you need to go over that to know the concepts, okay? Always go into the basic, okay? If you know something, if you read something in a book and you're not clear with that, go into the basic, okay? Use even Wikipedia, okay? Some articles are not that bad, and use me for most of the time, okay? Instead of thinking how to start, you can go and ask a lot of questions, okay, that I will try to answer, okay? I'm doing this every Friday, okay? I wouldn't miss it. Yeah, that blister should heal, okay? It will heal, but it's not recommended medically to do that draining thing. And the most important and most wise thing to do is just to leave it to heal by itself. The draining thing is something that I wouldn't actually recommend to do all the time. Maybe if you're too anxious to play again, because it will heal maybe a little bit faster, but it may not be good. So try not to do it. I think it's a better thing to say, because I don't want to be responsible for whatever thing that may happen. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of things and parts on which you can go, especially forums, and try to speak with more people about knowledge. Okay, and sometimes speaking with other people will give you more doubts if they are not explaining themselves well. Okay, so always try to go to the best teachers. I would recommend you to always be subscribed to some guys that I think they are doing a great job. Okay, Adam Neely, of course, maybe you all know him. You have a 8-bit music theory. I think it's some interesting things about theory, maybe a little bit more complex. 12 tone, that's a good channel to have some starting points. And what else about music? Really, there's not that much. So I'm trying to do my best also to get more and more. Maybe I'm going to do separate videos even from different aspects about theory. Okay. But I'm always insecure about that, because I don't consider myself the best in anything, really, to be an example, a really true example. Okay, I need to develop more. Yeah, some Mr. Angry Mexican guy, the one who talked about the blisters, is talking about the modes, and we talked about that last week. And that what he's saying is really important. Okay, always think about the connection between a mode and its minor or major analog. Okay, so how D Dorian sounds different to D minor or D Phrygian. Yeah, okay, that's the deal you need to understand. Ionian, Mixolydian, and Lydian are to be compared with the major scale, and Dorian, Phrygian, Aeolian, and even Locrian should be compared with the minor scale. Okay, to understand what are the places, what are the notes that make the difference. Okay. Okay, we have some walkthrough that maybe we're going to finish with this. Okay. Mr. Nathan Pringle wants me to go over the bar 49 and 54 in Vulfpeck 1612. Okay, let's do that. Well, there's another song that was really great to play, and that I don't actually remember, so I want to go over it. Give me some time. Well, with this second song, it would be 2 songs that I've been covering from Vulfpeck. It's a really a recommended band if you want to understand what a good bassist should do, really. No, okay. Okay, I'm going to switch the scene over here. I think you should be able to see now the tablature part. So this goes. That's the main riff, you could say, for the song. It's obviously a really nice song, you know. So let's go over the bars that he mentioned. 49 and 54. Okay, so I think that is the part you refer. It's the most complex part. Well, I think we skipped too much, but let's go over there again. 4954. This should be a difficult part to understand. Okay, we're going on C major, then go F. This. Whoa. Okay, here. So we're going to C major and F major. It's quite a simple harmony, but you have a. So as an exercise, you can actually tell me, over here you have C, that's the one, the tonic. Then we go over an E, and an E from a C major chord involves the third or the three, or the the third of the chord. Yeah. For C major, you have C, E, and G. So you're playing tonic and third. And then you go over the lower octave of the third. And then into F. There you have the octave, the fifth, that is a C, a G that goes quickly into F. So it's more like a passing note. So you have a. Okay, this is a good, really nice feel to apply into F major, I think. Then you have a A, and you have kind of like a chromatic passage that goes into A, B flat, B, and then into C, but repeating with F, just to remind you you are in the harmony, of course. So you have a that becomes that is the third of F. So you're in the chord. So you have G, F, A, F. You have B flat over there. That would be kind of like the fourth of the chord, but we're going into something different. You notice we're going chromatically. Chromatically means by semitones, going into back into C. So you have a sorry. Again. There it is. So this is really interesting because you're marking the F and going around. Okay, that is something that I've noticed you can do a lot in a major chord, actually, going over like this. In whatever major chord you're going into the tonic, the third, then go 4, sharp 4, 5. But always going around with your tonic over here, okay, the main note. Just to remind you, used to go over this triad of tonic, third, fifth, but from third to fifth you're just going chromatically, okay? That is kind of like the same applied into F over here. Okay, same thing. And then you go over it. F. And you will notice you repeat it. This thing, it's again a good build up into going over a C, back into C. You have A, B flat, C. You have a, now you have a added D that goes by tone backwards into C. Okay. There you have another interesting thing to notice. The sixth, it's always a really well applied note to consider when you're playing a major chord, especially in these types of music. The sixth is really well applied. So with any note, with any chord, major chord, the sixth will always be here. If you have a C over here, the sixth would be A. C, D, E, F, G, A. You have it over here, or you have it after the fifth. So that's a really good way into coming back to the fifth, or approaching into a note that comes from other chord, but it's kind of like the same. So you have a, and then you have two nice maybe cliches that you can apply into a major line. I don't know, okay? And then you go over it again. This is another good thing. You will notice you have a same idea going from the tonic to the third, but you're going chromatically into the third. So you go D, D sharp, or E flat and E. None of those notes are part of the chord, okay? You're just going quickly into a note that is from the chord, okay, a chord tone. And that thing, it's really well used also for when you're going in the context of a major chord. Okay. Even in higher octaves, probably, I don't know. Yeah. So you can apply something like this. there you have a lot of things that are have come from this line. Okay, so you have the C going around from the third into the fifth chromatically. You can add the sixth, or you can approach chromatically into the third. And then you can create this into your language. Okay, just a little example of going through more analytically probably, but yeah, I think I don't know if I solved some doubts from that part. You can let me know. Okay, that's what I would like also to have. I think a little bit more questions from that. Okay, to understand more of the lines. Yeah, but you have a lot of good examples of good lines, or maybe good fills or good licks that are taken from Vulfpeck songs and many other songs, of course. There's not much, I would say, originality. Of course there is, but it's of course it's taken from a place, for an historic place, and you have a lot of Stevie Wonder. You have a lot of the Motown sound, really. Okay, you meant other other thing. I would assume that. But I think time is running out now. So, but yeah, you have other parts also for the end, and you have many other interesting things that we can go over through. Okay, I'm just going to go over one more because you know, just for time. From 54 over here. Again, same C and F. There you have a nice other thing for F again. And you have open strings applied back into C. You have the one you have the sixth going into the fifth, back into the octave, and the ghost note always really important. Okay, so it's this executed really slowly would be something like this. Okay. Here we're doing the same thing that I just told you about, going into the third chromatically, but for F and in the higher octave. Okay. No, not really, I think. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you're going into the third and you go. Bum 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 bum. Sixth, then you have a ninth and sixth. Then you do for the final notes over here, you do kind of like a raking motion. So you have a bum 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 bum, and then those two notes go with just one finger. Okay, I think this was really hard. And then we can go maybe one more. Oh, there you have this. This is nice. Okay, you have a so you have a on C major, you have a again going into the major third chromatically from the second now. Okay, same thing as this, but applied over here. The fifth, the sixth again present, and then we repeat on the higher octave the same deal chromatically from the second into the third. Okay, notice how I'm using the little finger for this. Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not deforming my hand position. Okay, always with the pinky at the end. And then you go octave fifth tonic back into. Okay. You have many examples of good things to do over here, okay? Then the same deal. Okay. There you have another interesting and nice thing. That sounds so good, so good. You have a ninth going to, I mean second going into the third again. They're really important. Okay. Then you have the fifth, but in open strings, and going backwards into from the third chromatically into the second and back into the tonic. A, the sixth present, fifth tonic again, and low A, low E, that being the third. Okay. That's really nice. It's really trying to apply constant motion of the fingers over here, and a lot of raking. Okay, any time that you're looking at this, okay, different notes executed in two different strings, you will have raking present. Here again, and then again over here, and here. Okay, all of those are executed with just one stroke. Okay, you can go over this without the open strings, maybe to manage to make it in other key. I don't know. You can do the same. That part specifically, you can manage to move it around any major chord that you want to give a funky feeling. I don't know, in a E flat. You know? Knowing that would be really important, and we can go over it. Okay, a lot of interesting things, but yeah, that's it. Okay, I will try to always, when you give me some ideas to work on, I'm going to try to analyze it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try to give a high analysis, probably on what are the notes that are involved in that part, probably. Okay, so we can work it out together. Actually, it's good knowledge for both of us to get into this. Okay. Okay. How are we doing? I think it's enough for now. I don't know if we have some more questions. Okay, you can let me know. Yep, really good example to apply. Yeah, you know, all those notes, especially in the higher octave, it sounds good. Okay. I don't know. I think it's enough for today. I wish this is of help to you. Okay. Um, I've been trying to do this, as I said, weekly, trying to solve some questions. Okay. If you have more ideas of things to, so we can go over it, you can come with them next week. Okay. Well, if there's someone in Spanish talking in Spanish, I mean, listening to me right now, I'm going to try to make a new Spanish thing. Okay, voy a tratar de hacer un nuevo live stream que sea solo en español, ya que tanta gente asiste y tanta gente le gusta, así que lo haré. Okay. Please say Taylor or Tayur. Is it the man? If it is his birthday. Okay, Taylor, you're the man. I have a song suggestion. Yeah, we were just talking about that one. It's coming actually. What's the difference between a 600 bass guitar and a 2400 bass guitar? Well, in most cases, it's actually just the price. Okay, in most cases, you have you are buying some reputation, or you're buying some. Yeah, most of the time it's just reputation, something like that. But in other cases, it's really a different deal. Okay, construction is better, the tone is better. But I'm an advocate of the cheap instrument. I think if you won't notice the difference, just by hearing it, just stick with the not expensive one. Okay, until you can really notice the difference of a really good bass, then I think it's worth for you the investment, Okay, this is the end. Okay, thanks everyone for coming here. I'll be here next week with some other time for you. Okay, so try to give it a good try, just to come around here and listening to me a little bit. Okay, I think it might be at the long run. I think it may be good for all of us. It has been really good for me, I gotta say. I don't think I spoke English that well before this, and I don't think I have some motivation to give a good lesson, and that gives me more knowledge to myself also. Okay, so I like that. So I'll see you next Friday. Okay, take care and goodbye.